Mulberry.
Broadening your horizons, as they say, you know?
What's your, well, hold on, we'll get into that. Dubtown Rob, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's a fire-ass name.
Thank you, bro. Hell yeah, thank you.
This is episode 46 of the Mulberry Podcast. Before I introduce my guest, if you're new to the channel, if this is your first video watching, make sure you like and share this video, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not already. It means a lot to me, and I think you know how hard that is to get subs, man.
Oh, yeah, man.
It's
yeah.
it's a grind, dude.
It definitely is, bro.
Yeah. But this is Dubtown Rob. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you for having me, bro.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate you coming on, man.
No doubt.
Making the little drive over here.
Yeah.
You live in Merced right now?
Yeah, I stay in Merced right now. Yep. I've been there for the past, I want to say, almost 10 years. It's almost been, it's like been 9 years. Yeah,
Okay.
I moved there after my mom passed away. And so, yeah, it's cool. It's a
Yeah.
little, it's only 15 minutes from Winton, but it's totally different. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
For sure.
So that's where you're from, originally from Winton?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So you're a content creator.
Yeah.
Is that what you would consider yourself? Like if someone asked you like what you did, what would you tell them?
I would say a content creator. I think that sums it up.
Yeah.
Because I create content for YouTube. You know, I have a live music review show that I do, and I'm also an artist. I'm dabbling into a little bit of production right now. So I'm kind of, content creator kind of sums up who I am and what I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your main show, which I've tuned in a handful of times, is called Slap or Crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
So where did that whole idea come from?
So Slap or Crap, man. I was on the internet, you know what I mean, browsing the internet, getting lost in a rabbit hole like we do, you know what I mean? And so I'm submitting my music to these shows, and they're just people on their cell phones listening to music. And I'm like, yo, I could do that too. Like I'm with that. So but I wanted to take the idea and I wanted to make more of it. And I wanted to make it more because I love the interaction part of it. That's what caught me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wanted to take that idea and make more out of it. And so I just was doing my research and started like doing a little bit of research and development, I guess you could say, and taking some of their ideas and mixing it with my own and kind of just coming up with it. And the actual name, Slap or Crap, my buddy Paul Harper, who's incarcerated right now, wrongfully, I should say. I just want to let that be known. He actually came up with the name for me because I was on the phone with him and I was like, I'm trying to think of a name for this show. And he's like, what about Slap or Crap? I'm like, perfect. You know what I mean? Let's do it.
Yeah.
So a lot of times it takes that outside inspiration to let you figure out the things that you missed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe things that you weren't thinking of before. You know what I mean? It takes that outside inspiration to kind of like give you that extra push. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So when did you start that? Like how long has it been since you started?
I've been doing Slap or Crap, I want to say, since 2000, the beginning of 2019.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're on season 4 right now, and I try to do another season like every 6 months or so. Kind of change up the background, change up different things to kind of keep people engaged. You know what I mean? And let it not be the same thing over and over. Have them tune into something different. So.
Right. So for people who may not like know exactly what Slap or Crap is, basically, it's a live show. It's almost kind of like a radio show.
Right.
Like the way you have it set up, it's pretty dope with like the soundboard, like all that.
Yeah.
And then people tune in, and then so you just have people. You do it once a week, or
I was doing it once a week. Now I'm doing it twice a week.
okay.
But I kind of don't commit to it like a Friday. But my main day is Wednesday, and then if I have the time, I'll pop up on Friday. And, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Do my thing.
So people just they hit you up. Do they like you do it through? They just hit you up, or you have an email or something, and then you play their music.
Yeah. So I'll have them send over the music to my email, and then after that, then they'll have. I play the music as I get it. So if you're the first one to pop up, I'll play the songs that we didn't play the week before or the show before, and then I'll head into the music that we received for that night. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's a lot of music that comes in, and I just get flooded, man. And I'm very appreciative of that. I'm very thankful for that because it's when I first started out, I went through like a downward spiral. You know what I mean? Because it was like, man, I'm not getting no support. I'm not getting no music. I'm not getting anything. I took a 6-month break off after my daughter was born. I took 6 months and I wasn't doing it. And then my girl, she actually told me, she was like, yo, you got to get back with that. Like, people were digging that shit. Like, you have to put more energy into that. So I was like, all right. So I did it. And then I started getting the music. I started getting more music. I started getting more feedback. And ever since then, it's just been rolling and snowballing. You know what I mean? And I'm in talks right now with Latin Beast TV. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
Yeah.
But we're in talks right now to take the show ID and do something with them on their channel. So it's just been snowballing into something bigger. You know what
That's
I mean?
dope, man.
Yeah.
So when you took that 6 months off, did you have people hitting you up, asking you where,
yeah,
how come you're not doing it?
Yeah, I did. A lot of people were hitting me up on Facebook, and they were like, yo, we missed the show. When are you coming back? And I'm like, yo, I'm taking some family time off. You know what I mean? But I will be back. Don't trip. I'm coming back. And, finally I ended up coming back. And like I said, man, it's just been good things from then on. You know?
It's funny how before you felt like maybe no one was really, rocking with you like that. And then when you take that hiatus, you have people hitting you up and you might not even realize they were tuning in or, they liked it. So I feel like as a content creator, that's probably one of the hardest things, is to keep yourself motivated.
Yeah.
And there are times where you feel like you're going backwards or this isn't going anywhere, when it probably is. And even if it's not necessarily going at the pace you want it to, it's not going backwards if you keep pushing it out.
Right.
So that's a hard thing to keep, especially getting started, to just keep going.
Yeah, it's all about that. It's all about that drive. You know what I mean? I see your sign that you have up here. It says laziness fuels more laziness and activity fuels more activity. That's dead on. What happens? You know what I mean? It's like we take a slump off, and then we're like, yo, I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? And then it just, as soon as you plant that thought into your head, it just becomes you. You know what I mean? It's like, nah, I don't want to do it. I'm good. And then once we get back at it, we're like, okay, now I'm back in the groove of things again. I feel comfortable. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It becomes exciting again,
Yeah, exactly.
But the hardest thing is the start, man, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, because how was it for your first live show? Did you want to do it live initially? That was your whole idea. So
yeah.
When you had it all set up and you were like, all right, I'm going to go live right now. How did that feel?
It was a little intimidating at first. It was definitely I shouldn't say a little. It was quite intimidating, man. For sure. I was nervous. I didn't have I don't see myself as too charismatic or anything like that. And I definitely didn't have that when I was on live for the first time. It was more of okay, next up, we're gonna play this song, and hella nervous, oh man. And then, over time, just watching myself, I'd go back, and that's a big thing, is watching my own videos. And I sit there and watch the whole video. My lady be like, why are you watching yourself? Who does that? And I'm like, I'm learning.
Yeah,
I'm learning. I'm studying myself, and I'm learning where I can improve and where I could, tone it up, or where I could take it down. And so yeah, just a lot of studying myself. And then I realized, okay, I gotta have more energy, because people are gonna want to tune in, and they're gonna want to see somebody that's hype. They don't want to see nobody that's yo, okay, you know what I mean? Next song is this, woo, woo, woo. And you know, they want to feel hyped. They want to feel involved. So when I came back after the 6 months, I had a whole different aura about me. You know what I mean? So I think that's where people, and I started getting comments on that too. Like people really were like, "Yo, this host's energy is on point." Like, you know what I mean? Like, fuck all these other shows. Like we want to tune into Slap or Crap just for you. And I was like, "Yo, that's dope. That's dope."
Yeah,
you know what I
mean?
Most
definitely.
That's definitely a compliment. So
yeah, that's a big deal. I hate going back and listening to myself, but because it feels like really cringe and like I'm my biggest critic. So then I feel like, man, I hate this entire podcast, but then you put it out and like people really like it. So, but it is like, you know, if you played football and you watch film from the week before, you got to watch that. You got to learn from it. You got to, you know, try to grow. And that's honestly probably where you get a lot of your progression is from going back and watching how you do things and figuring out like what to do better. Yeah.
Cause you think about it, man, all the major, you know, the major sports, basketball, boxing, football, they all go back and study themselves, and like especially a boxer, because they're so technical. And well, I should say every sport is pretty technical, but I feel like a boxer is more because, you know, they have a lot more at risk. You know what I mean?
It's more of a chess game with that. You know,
so they're watching themselves, studying themselves. Like, yo, I need to drop here, I need to pick up here, I need to do this, do that, and that's kind of like, you know, us being content creators. That's what we should. The message that we should be pushing, you know what I mean, is like, yo, study yourself, you know, because that it just opens your mind up to like everything. You know what I mean? It's real dope.
Yeah, for sure. So before you started Slap or Crap, what were you doing? Were you doing anything else, like any other content or creating anything?
Yeah, well, I still am a musician. I should say a lyricist. And I've been making music since like 2004, 2005, somewhere around there. And I'm still making music, not as much, but I'm working on another project right now, and I'm really excited about it because I just started dabbling into production and making my own beats. I've never done it before. This is the first year I've done it in the past, I should say, but I've never taken it seriously. I thought it was always like harder than what it really is. And of course you could be more technical with the beats and stuff like that, but I'm not really in it for that. My main priority is to have ownership, and I'm taking a lot of old stuff that I did over other people's beats, maybe that have that I don't have the rights to exactly, and I'm like reusing them lyrics over stuff that I've made. And it's just real dope because it's like, okay, I own the lyrics 100%. I own the beat 100%, and like everything's under me. You know what I mean? Right. So I think that's the biggest thing for all artists out there. If you're watching, ownership is key. You know what I mean? You want to maintain ownership of everything that's under you. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now, man. Is like still doing music, and you know, still doing Slap or Crap. I'll play some of my music on the show too. And just to get some feedback about what direction to go to, because my audiences, man, they are like,
they fuck with you heavy.
They're tough. They're like tough critics, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're no holds barred. Like if that shit's whack, they'll be like, "Oh, that shit needs to get flushed down the toilet for sure." Like, yo.
That definitely, just from watching, has become. I feel like almost every one that gets said. Like there's a few sayings that some of them say all the time. Yeah. That's one of them to get flushed.
Hell yeah, because it's like, man, like.
How do you think, like, I know you might like, God damn, bro. Yeah, but then, like, how do you think, like, maybe the artist, have you ever had, like, an artist, like, hit you up, like, man, that was some bullshit, or, like, after the fact, they're, like, mad?
Okay, so, well, the way the show works is we don't charge for artists to submit their music, right? But they get paid to skip the line.
Right.
So I've had a couple artists pay to skip and get flushed, and then they go and request a refund, like, I want my money back because I got flushed. It's like, nah, bro. Like, you ain't getting that money back, bro. Like, it's raps, bro. Like, you know, we can't give you your money back because your music's trash, bro. Like, work on it. And that's the other thing, man, is like, we don't sit there and like bag on people's music just for the sake of bagging on their shit. Like, I may not do it with every single song, but people in the comments do more than I do. They'll give a little critique about what exactly is wrong with it. Like, oh, he's using too much auto-tune or too much reverb, or the mix needs to be better, or, maybe get a better engineer or get a better mic. I don't know. Whatever it may be. And, based off of that, that's where the feedback comes from. And we have a lot of artists that will send in a song, they get flushed the next week or the next show, they'll send in another record, and that one will be a banger. And they'll be like, yo, I went back and I literally worked on myself, submitted something new, and now I'm, you know what I mean, I passed the test pretty much. You know what I mean?
Well, that just shows the character of the individual.
Right.
The ones who get mad and want their money back feel like they probably don't even care to grow. They're just mad because maybe they're a little embarrassed or something. Yeah. But man, that's part of sticking your neck out.
Yeah.
That's part of making shit for people to hear and critique, and not everyone's going to like it, even if it is good.
Yeah.
And
the crazy part about it is, like, when you look more into it, it's like we're critiquing these artists who in turn could be critiquing the show, you know what I mean, everything about it. Like, everybody's being critiqued in a way when you're online, you know what I mean? You're always being critiqued about something. So it's like, we're doing Slap or Crap, and we could critique you, and then you could turn around and critique us, leave a negative review on our comments or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, this show fucking sucks. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but we've never really had that to that extent. We've had a couple people, but we've never really had that to that extent where they just blatantly like, yo, your show's ass, bro.
Well, because it's really not, and even in the comments when it's not good, I mean, people crack jokes, but it's not really like you're really like cyberbullying or like really coming down on the people making music. You're just, I mean, there are some funny comments, but it's just like jokes, and it's not overwhelming.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So.
And that's what I try to make. I try to make it lighthearted, because whether or not we admit it, artists are very emotional people, sensitive people, and we use that sensitivity and that the emotions around us to feel our creativity. You know what I mean? Our music. And sometimes when it gets a little over the top, shit, that might make somebody go out and try to jump off a bridge or something. You know what I mean? And we don't want that. We don't. You know what I'm saying? We don't want nobody to do that. But we want to maintain a positive, engaging platform that lets people know, like, yo, we are here for you. You know what I mean? I'm an artist myself, and that's, most of the time I do say that is, an artist created this show for artists.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm an artist myself. I want to see other artists shine. I don't want to dismiss anybody's creativity. I don't want to make anybody feel less within themselves. I want everybody to have an opportunity. You know what I mean? And partly because I've never had an opportunity like that before until, you know what I mean? I started seeing those shows on the internet, and like, boom, submit your music. You know what I mean?
Right.
And when that came about, I was like, oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because coming up from Winton, man, like, Central Valley, everybody knows Winton. Like, mainly for negative.
I was about to say for better or for worse.
Yeah, maybe a lot for the negative, but I kept my nose clean, man. I kept my nose clean off all the negativity, and I made a point to want to be successful at something, whether it be my music, or whether it be establishing a brand, or whether it be just being an overall just great person, great family man, something like that. You know what I mean? Just I made it a point to want to be better than where I was from. A lot of my friends got wrapped up into, drugs, gangs. A lot of my friends are dead, man. A lot of my friends are in jail for life. I'm never going to see them again. And so that really motivated me and fueled me to want to be better. Right. You know what I mean? And my friends appreciated me for that. Because I dabbled a little bit, you know what I mean? We all came up the same, so we all kind of fell into the same, how can I say it? into the same like category, I guess. And you know, I dabbled a little bit, and then I realized, yo, this ain't for me. You know what I mean? Like I can't sit here and like take no direct order from another man. You know what I mean? Like I'm my own person. I'm gonna do what I want to do, and that's that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people get the misconception of me because of who I am. You know, be it the way I dress or just my style, just who I am. Like they feel like I might be associated with one crowd or another. You know what I mean? But in reality, it's like I'm my own human being. You know what I mean? And I'm just trying to make something bigger than myself. You know?
Man, that's very inspiring. What made you like? Is there anything specific that made you go, man? I'm not trying to do all this. I'm trying to be better. What like? Do you have anything specific, like maybe like family or?
Music saved my life, bro. Music saved my life, hands down.
I was gonna ask you because you know you're an artist, and then even what you do now revolves around music, and I wanted to know like where that inspiration came from, and you know like at a young age, like who did you hear or listen to that like made you feel that way?
Man, oh man, a lot of West Coast hip hop. Tupac is by far my greatest inspiration ever. Like his music is timeless, and even if you don't like the music, like a lot of like younger people now, you know what I'm saying, they're like, yo, like that shit is old, you know what I mean, like we ain't fucking with it.
Yeah.
But even if you just take the lyrics and you just read the lyrics and forget about the music, but just read his lyrics and what he was saying, like a lot of that shit has come to pass. And not only that, but it's motivating because it's like you came up from nothing, and it's like when he said the rose that grew from concrete, you know what I mean? Like you came up from the most poorest conditions possible, and you made something of yourself, you know. And so I've always tried to maintain that vision. But what inspired me to do music was the passing of my grandfather. He passed away in 2004, and he was like the only father figure that I had in my life. So his passing like really affected me. I was 14, and I'm like, man, like my whole world's crashed. Like I'm 14 years old. You know what I mean? Just started my teenage years, and like all the anxiety, those emotions when you're a teenager, like, you know what I mean? With all that stuff mixed up with the fact that now your father figure is no longer here for you. It was kind of like, damn, like my fucking world is done. And I started doing poetry in 7th grade, and one of my teachers, I never did my work. I never did homework, never did schoolwork, never did nothing. And so one of my teachers, they were like, why is it that you're never doing your work? What are you doing? And I'm like, here, this is what I'm doing. And then he was like blown away, totally blown away at the fact that these words, this vivid poetry was coming from somebody in his class, like especially for me. You know what I mean?
He probably thought you weren't doing shit.
Yeah,
ever.
exactly.
Yeah.
So his name is Dennis Taylor. Right here he was right here at Winton Middle School, and he actually took some of my poems and got them published, and that was like dope, like hands down.
Wow.
Like the dopest shit ever. And because it was like, yo, I just started doing this shit. All of a sudden my poems are online, they're published, they're like, it was just phenomenal.
Like your name is attached to him and all that?
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
That's awesome that you had a teacher, instead of like give you so much negativity for like you not doing your work, but actually seeing like your talent and helping you do that, you know, or doing that, you know.
And the crazy part about it is he was a math teacher, and I mean me and him really never exchanged words or nothing. I didn't really know the guy other than he was my math teacher. He was a poet himself, and he had got his own works published. And so like one day he took a whole day, or like a whole class period, and like dedicated it to poetry. And he was like, these are my poems, and I want to thank Robert for writing these poems, and I've been helping him and this and that. Like he just dedicated the whole class period to poetry. It was crazy.
It was a math class.
Yeah, bro. It was wild.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
And it was crazy. So
did that definitely help inspire you to like keep going in that direction, or use that, and obviously in like being a lyricist?
Yeah, for sure. It definitely helped to accelerate that focus. You know what I mean? And but then the decline came, like I said, when my grandfather died, and now we're kind of just like, damn, like I don't know what to do. I don't want to write poetry anymore. And then I was like, but I need an outlet. And we had moved up to Santa Rosa, and I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what to think. So we get up there, and my mom's like, this is home now. And I'm like, damn, like this is crazy. I don't.
And how old were you?
I was 14.
When you guys moved? Okay.
Yeah, because my grandfather passed in. He actually passed in December 2004. So I was like 14, just about to turn 15. And so we get up there. We're staying with some friends, and shit goes bad. You know what I mean? And we end up homeless. We end up homeless for about a year. And so we're sleeping in our car, and like some of the most, like I said again, like some of the most horrible conditions like that somebody would have to face, because it's like we're bouncing from homeless shelter to homeless shelter, sleeping in our car, fucking literally eating food out the trash. And those conditions, I would never wish that shit on nobody. You know what I mean? And I had the opportunity, because of my family, I had the opportunity to not be in that situation. My family was like, yo, your mom is going to be your mom. She could do what she's grown. She could do what she wants to do. But you don't have to be there. We could. And I'm like, nah. You know what I mean? Fuck that. I'm going with my mom. You know what I mean? That's my mother. I want to be with her. You know what I mean? So whether it be good or whether it be bad. And my family members were mad, bro. They were mad. They were like, how could he do this? You know what I mean? Like, what is he thinking? But I needed it. I needed it for clarity. I needed it for to make me more humble. I needed it to make me the person that I am today. Because if I never had that experience, I would never be the person that I am today. 100% for sure, I can tell you that. And it was some of the most transformative times of my life, because it's like you don't know what to expect. You don't know if you're going to eat the next day, literally. You know what I mean? But we always figured out a way, man. And I believe in God. I believe in God 100%. And I feel like God, like, navigated us through whatever it is that we were facing. Because when you don't have no one to turn to, and it's just your mom in the car, and you're 15 years old, and you guys are arguing back and forth, and you're like, man, what the hell? Like, what am I, like, I don't have nobody else to turn to. I don't have no family here, nothing. And so I just started praying, man. And, God really opened doors for me. For sure.
Wow, man.
So yeah, it's definitely a testament to just the belief in, to having faith, number one, and just maintaining a positive mindset that you got to keep going. You know what I mean? You got to keep going. Don't feel like you're never going to get out of a situation, because every situation is temporary in a way. Right. You know what I mean?
How are you able to get out of that? Like,
well, we saved up. And we would go out there and hustle panhandling and shit like that. And like, in a way it was like sort of demeaning, but in essence, that situation taught me for what I would do later on, and which I'll touch on in a bit, is like we saved up, man, and we were able to, like, finally my mom was able to, because we got in a shelter. And then that shelter helped her save up more. And then they would, like, keep her checks. So she wouldn't be able to touch none of her money. All the money would go to the shelter. And then once it was to a certain amount, she would, like, designate an amount. Okay, I want to save up, like, 5 racks. Okay, boom. Once we saved up those 5 racks, then we were able to get our own spot. And I don't know if it was 5 racks, but I'm just, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
making up a number. But we were able to save up a certain amount to get our own place. And once we got our own place, I was like, yo, this is like, it's the shittiest spot, like, ever. Studio apartment, like not shitty, bro, but like, it was just like in the middle of downtown Santa Rosa, and like, you know, a lot of homelessness, a lot of like poverty and stuff, but it was a roof.
Yeah.
And it was a guarantee that you're going to have heat, and a guarantee that you're going to have a warm meal, you know, and it was just, it was heaven, bro. It was heaven.
Wow, man.
For sure.
That's awesome. Dude.
Yeah.
It's I feel like I can't comprehend that. A lot of people can't, just feeling so thankful just to have a roof over your head.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Going through all that. That's insane, man.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was. And we had like a little pantry in the spot, and I converted that pantry into like a makeshift recording studio. And I was like begging my mom, man, like, I know we didn't have money, like we didn't have much, you know what I mean? But my mom would literally go out of her way to do whatever it took possible to support my dreams and whatever I wanted to do. And especially because she knew that, she's seen that I could be great at it. So that's exactly what she did, man. She wiggled her way, I don't know, found a way somehow to bless me with the laptop. And I started creating music off a little desktop microphone. Like, I don't even know what to equate it to. It was crazy. It was like just a regular old like mic, a desktop mic.
Yeah.
And some of the most shittiest sounding recordings, but those recordings, those were my foundation. You know what I mean?
Most definitely, dude.
So for sure.
Were you so you were in your teens? Were you going to high school at that time? Like during that whole?
Well, that whole year, I missed out on a whole year of school. Well, I should say maybe like 9 months or so of school. So I ended up not graduating from high school. I had to go back and get my GED and things like that. Yeah, I missed out. But once we got into our spot, then I started going to school and like meeting new people and, you know, interacting more, which was back now is different, but back then I was a little bit more like socially awkward and more like introverted.
Right.
You know what I mean? And not wanting to meet new people.
Well, man, especially a year essentially of not even being around kids like that in that environment.
Yeah.
And then going there and no one probably knows you or knows the slightest of what you've been through this past year. Right. You're just happy to be where you're at, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
And the craziest part about it is, man, is like in Santa Rosa, at the time, which this was again to like 2004, 2005, at my high school that I was going to, they literally had bungalows, like classrooms that were set apart from the school where families were staying in. Wow. That's how bad the homeless epidemic with kids, families with kids, is or was at the time. I'm not sure about now. In Santa Rosa.
Wow.
And so you know, my advocacy for homelessness is huge.
Right.
Huge, especially when it comes to kids, because like
it's not even their fault.
Yeah, exactly.
Like in any way.
Exactly, man.
You know,
it's crazy.
Yeah, especially California. There's a lot of homelessness.
Yep.
A lot of people just. I don't know, man. I don't even know where to start with that. That's just insane, you know?
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild. I remember a long time ago, my mom, she took me to Skid Row when I was like 6 or 7. And she like tried to scare me because I wasn't, I've never been good in school. And I wasn't doing good in school then. Like I was like in 1st or 2nd grade, getting in trouble for talking or clowning around in class. And so my mom took me down there because Skid Row is like downtown Los Angeles. And it's it's like a third world country. I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's like unbelievable the amount of homelessness that is there, drugs that is there. It's like crazy. And we're driving through and she's like, this is what happens when you don't pay attention in school. Like she tried to scare me, like she tried to scare me straight, like this is where you're gonna end up. And ironically, you know,
Well, shit,
it
you
wasn't
never
13 years later.
Yeah, you never forgot that experience.
Yeah, we actually ended up homeless.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it was like crazy. Like, I shouldn't say 13. It wasn't 13 years. It was um, like 8 years, 7 years. We ended up there, and it was like crazy to me, like how anything could happen, man. I think we're all just, you know, one misstep away from homelessness in a way. You know what I mean? Shit could go bad tomorrow, and then you're out on the street, and you're like, "Yo, what am I gonna do?" But you figure out a way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You figure out a way. Like I said, my faith is definitely keeps me going.
Yeah.
So, you know, I feel like you have to have that belief in whether it be a higher power, something bigger than yourself, or just yourself, to be able to be like, "Yo, I got this. I could do this." You know what I mean? And you'll get past it for sure.
I mean, you can even look at what happened with like the pandemic and stuff. Everyone with the mom and pop shops, that was their livelihood. That all of a sudden gone.
Yeah.
And I don't know the percentage, but there's a large percentage of people in this country who live paycheck to paycheck.
Oh yeah.
So one bad paycheck or a month or two, then like you're screwed just like that within a month.
Yeah.
You know, and it's that when you really think about it, it's pretty scary.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Because 1 minute everything's fine, you know, February, and now March, April, the whole country was shut down.
Yeah.
And you're like, what am I supposed to do now? You
Exactly.
know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. Crazy.
So when you were in your that studio apartment and you got your laptop and your mic, you're about 15.
Yeah.
And that's when you started like making music for yourself.
Yep. Yep.
And then how did that progress from there to like the next few years?
So it was huge because I started making music and we're there for a few years. We're there till I was 18. So we stayed in Santa Rosa for about 3 or 4 years, and when I was 18, we moved back to no, actually, I was 17, just about to turn 18. So we moved back to Winton. My grandmother had got sick, so we came back to kind of help her out and, you know, do whatever we could for her. And so I found myself not wanting to leave Santa Rosa. When I first got there, I hated it. And then when it came time to leave, I was like, man, I don't want to leave. Like, I like it here now. You know what I mean? Like, it's better now. You know what I mean? And so, like, I got back to Winton, and I still kept on with music and upgraded my equipment. I was able to upgrade my equipment and, you know, just have a better overall sounding product. So I started selling CDs. And those CDs that I would sell, I'd go out and sell them for like $5. And those panhandling experiences that we dealt with while being homeless, translated over to selling CDs and it translated over well, because, you know, when you're asking people for money, hey, you got any spare change? No. People just walk by you, not even acknowledge you. And that shit like really mess with my brain. Like, damn, like you gonna walk by and not even say no or not even acknowledge me, just walk past me? That's crazy. So when I started selling CDs, I actually had a product to sell. I was no longer just asking people for money just to ask. I was like, actually have a physical product. And so when people would say no, it would just be like roll off my back. You know what I mean? Like, it's nothing, because I'm so used to it already that it was just like, I just got to keep grinding. You know what I mean? I got to keep grinding, and it was successful. It was successful. I was successful with that. And not to the point of like thousands of dollars or nothing like that, but just, you know, being to where I could upgrade my equipment over time, you know what I mean, and having like a little side income to just do whatever I wanted to do, you know what I mean, invest in some beats or like I said, upgrade equipment or maybe a little bit of promotion online, something like that.
Yeah.
So it was real dope.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, and so I put my first my first project out there. It's called the Dubbed Out EP, and it was like just a collection of music that I was doing like within that last year when I was 18. So that was like 2008, and then that one went good. Then me and my brother Rebel, King Rebel, we put together a project called Hunger Pains. And that's the one where people still talk about that shit to this day, bro. Like, they're like, yo, that shit was crazy. Like,
That's dope.
when are you guys making another one? Like, yeah, that was the one that kind of like, you know, in our area, kind of like set the bar. Like, okay, they're coming hard. We got to come harder. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you have any music on like any DSPs right now, like Spotify? Or...
Yeah, I have music on Spotify, Apple Music, everywhere.
I didn't even know that, man. To be
Yeah.
honest with you, I just knew you from the Slap or Crap.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And that's the cool part about it, man, is like, you know, having your hand in kind of different things, it kind of opens you up. Maybe somebody might not like my music, you know, but they'll be a fan of the show, or vice versa. They might not like the show, they'll be a fan of my music.
Yeah.
So
don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, you want to kind of diversify, and you definitely want to you know, spread yourself around a little bit more, especially when it comes to like we said, content creation. So and we were talking about a little bit earlier about TikTok, and that's the new wave, man. Like, I've been struggling to get on TikTok because it's just so mind-boggling how dude is riding his longboard with the ocean spray cranberry and like just blows up overnight.
Just blows up.
You know what I mean?
And his car broke down. He was just going to work,
Yeah.
and just made a little video, not thinking anything of it.
Yeah. But then when, you know, and that's the I guess the top layer. But, you know, when you start doing the digging on the dude, he was really consistent with his videos, making videos almost every day of him doing his shit. And then it took that one video over the course of however many years he'd been on TikTok to just blow up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that consistency is key, man, because ever since then, after we dropped that project, I had just been grinding ever since with my music. Doing shows out in LA, doing shows in the Bay. I went on my own tour. I organized my own tour with a DJ friend of mine, DJ Memo out in Sacramento, and he put together some shows for me, organized them, fucking made merch, did my own tour. You know what I mean?
Damn,
and just staying consistent and grinding. And then when 2019 hit, I knew my daughter was about to be born. I couldn't really go do shows, so I had to do something. How am I going to get myself out there, keep myself in like sort of the spotlight or whatever?
Keep yourself relevant.
Yeah, relevant. And it was the internet. It was streaming. You know what I mean? And streaming had been big for years, but I felt like this type of platform hadn't been really tapped in yet, you know?
So it was just a quick transition from music to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because you know, I'm also an audio engineer. I engineer all of my own music, and my buddies, when they come through, I engineer their music too. So having that ear for music, it motivated me to want to do it even more, because I'm like, yo, I could give my opinion to artists with their own music. You know what I mean? I could help them out in a way.
Yeah.
So that transition happened pretty smoothly. Yeah, it went pretty smooth. It wasn't like I'm giving up on my music dreams. No, it's just transitioning into something that could help others and at the same time keep me relevant.
Yeah,
you know
and keep you around music and all that. Most definitely.
Yeah.
What's your so with that being said, like how that transition kind of happened, and you're still doing the music stuff too. What's your like a goal for you? Do you have a goal set with Slap or Crap and your music, like for the future?
Well, for my music, I want to just keep putting out content, and like I said, owning my own, owning all my own rights to everything. That's my goal from here now, is to just maintain ownership of my my music, and just keep putting out content. I don't really have a set goal. I feel like if I give myself a goal and if I don't reach it, I'm gonna feel like distraught about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I just continue doing what I'm doing and somebody recognizes it and can help me elevate, then cool. You know what I mean? That'd be dope. And as for Slapper Crap, same thing, man. Just elevating my show, bringing new aspects, and definitely implementing suggestions on what people want to see, because I think that's real big. You have to go off what your audience wants to see. You know what I mean? So definitely implementing new suggestions. Definitely staying consistent, more consistent for sure, and trying to reach out to different companies and brands, and going out for like sponsorships and stuff like that. I think that's real big. And the partnership with Latin Beast TV, I feel like that's going to be definitely going to be a catalyst to a lot bigger opportunity, a lot more opportunities.
Most definitely. You have someone like that, supporting you and backing what you do.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. Man, I love talking to guys like you, just, who've just been doing it for a while, and never gave up. I mean, that's the big thing.
Yeah.
And seeing it grow, seeing you grow as a person just from your entire story.
Right.
That's very inspiring. I'm very inspired by that. That's probably one thing that I feel most inspired by is other people and what they do, versus feeling like jealous or hateful, like, or think I could do better. It's like, no, man, we can all do it.
Exactly.
And it kind of lights a fire under my ass, like when I'm not doing stuff, and then like I'll go on your show and I'll watch, and then I'm sitting there, and we don't even necessarily do exactly the same thing, but I'm sitting there like, fuck, man, and then like 2 days later, because I know we were supposed to do one in August.
Right.
I ended up getting COVID.
Oh wow, okay.
And I was down bad for like 2 weeks, and then so I was just like, I'm gonna hit him up when I'm good and ready to go. But I was just chilling, and then I watched your show, and I'm like, it lit a fire under my ass, like, because it was fun to be in the comments.
Yeah.
And to see Carlos in there.
Hell yeah. That's the homie, man. Yeah. Shout out Carlos, man, for looking at us.
Shout out to Carlos, for real.
Yeah.
And he'll watch this. He watches every minute, anything I put out, everything, He's very supportive.
Hell yeah.
And it was fun, dude, being a part of that, So I was like, man, I need to get back on my grind for sure. So guys like you, and that, it helps me keep going for sure.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. And I'm happy to help. You know what I mean? I'm happy to help. I'm glad that the show is, there to inspire. You know what I mean? Because like you said, man, I used to. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm gonna just keep it all the way real. I used to feel like that, man. I used to feel like, damn, like they're gonna take my spot. Like, I can't let nobody take my spot. Like, I need that spot. But in reality, the bigger picture is there's room enough for everybody. You know what I mean? There's room enough for everybody, because even if you don't get to the the very, very top, you can still make money. You can still have residual income off of doing what you love. Thanks to the internet. There's people that are blowing up, millions of followers on Instagram and social media, whatever, and we've never even heard of them.
Yeah.
But they're blowing up in their own aspects. You know what I mean? Like, it's wild. It's wild.
Because how many times you go on YouTube, and I it's all the time for me, like, you'll see some random song on like a suggested, and it has like 2 million views, and you've never heard of the artist, never heard this song, and you might not even like it. Yeah. But I watch it, and I go in the comments, and because I'm curious, like, who is this, and like, what is he doing to gain this following that we never even heard of? Right. Right. But I don't know if it's like human instinct or human nature, because I mean, dude, the top artists in the world, they beef over shit like that, like feeling like their spot's being taken, like their spot will probably, I don't know if are you in love with what you're doing, or are you just in love that everyone knows who you are? I think it's a question you got to ask yourself too sometimes.
I think it's a little bit of both. When you reach the superstar status. You know what I mean? It's like you have to maintain a certain image. And a lot of this shit, man, is like, a lot of this shit is Hollywood, bro. A lot of this shit is like publicity stunt type shit, you know, made up so that way people could go buy an album. Like the whole Kanye with Drake beef, I was like following that shit, like, oh, who's gonna drop? But I've already seen that shit before. I seen that shit in 2004 when 50 and was it 50 and Kanye? 50 had an album coming out. I think it was The Massacre, and Kanye had that Graduation album, and that was the same shit. It was like the drama. Oh, who's gonna drop? Who's gonna drop?
It's a marketing tool.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and then at the end, it's like, oh, there's no beef. It's all love. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's just dumb. Yeah. And when you realize that, you kind of realize that like you realize like, yo, I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. You know, this person over here is gonna keep doing what they're doing. If we get to the same spot, we gonna meet up. We gonna party. We gonna have fun. We're gonna just embrace the fact that we did it. We made it here. We came from nothing, and we actually, you know what I mean, actually got somewhere with this. You know what I mean? And doing what we love. And I think once you, and that's the hardest thing I think for a lot of people, but once you set that ego aside, once you put your ego aside, and you just focus on, you take the ego out of the equation and you focus on creation and elevation and, you know, becoming like bigger than yourself. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people misconstrue what that means. It's like, it's not just about you. It's about what you could put out into the universe that people could gravitate towards. You know what I mean? And that people could get inspired by. And that's what I aim to set forth with Slapper Crap. At first my purpose for Slapper Crap was like, okay, everybody's building up a community around themselves, whether it be on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I'm not a comedian. I can't do TikTok videos. I don't find myself too funny.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like Facebook, it's the same thing. They just repost from Instagram to Facebook. And so I was like, what am I good at that I could do and build a community up around myself? And I was like, music. So that's, you know what I mean? That's what I wanted to do. And my goal was to like just play my music and let people fuck with my music. And then I was like, nah, that's not going to get nowhere because nobody knows me.
Right.
So I got to show them love and get love back, you know? And I noticed like an uptick in my streams and, my music platforms and stuff like that. Is like people are listening because they're like, okay, what does this dude have to offer? Like, we done submitted our music to him. Let me go see what his music's about.
Well, not only that, they know you, not necessarily on a personal level, but they know you more than they did before. They have a form of respect for you. Right. So then it's like, let me go check this dude out, you know? And that separates you from someone who just makes music versus you know, kind of being more interactive with, you know, people who are essentially your fans as well. Yeah. You know? I think that's what helps separate you, and that's why it was good that you were able to find that. Yeah. You know?
It's definitely a blessing, man, to be able to do it, for sure.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you a fucking question. I hella blanked out right now. I have an interesting thought on because we were talking about like bigger artists and stuff, and like the spotlight and all that, like, because there's a lot of artists who were just one-hit wonders and then they disappeared, right? I had a conversation with somebody. I asked him, would you rather be a one-hit wonder or would you rather like just be like a forever like mediocre under the radar artist, you know? And I wanted to ask you that because I just wanted to see what you thought on that.
I think a one-hit wonder.
Yeah,
I think a one-hit wonder, because regardless, even if your song's like just a one-hit wonder, everybody's going to remember that name.
Right.
Your name.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And my big thing is the reason I agree with you is because not only that, dude, that will open doors to so much other stuff. And even if you never make music again and you're just that one-hit wonder and people are like, oh, man, he's trash. He just made one good song, whatever. But, like, you're over here doing other stuff, like maybe making a clothing brand or doing other content that you might not have even been able to do because of that one thing that blew up.
Yeah, exactly. And you're always going to have a fan base.
Yeah.
You know, people people are gonna gravitate to you. Like, who can I use for example? Like, Sean Kingston. He had that song, "Beautiful Girls" or whatever it was called, right? That was like the only song I remember of the dude.
Yeah.
And I seen him on social media, and he's living in like a straight mansion, and like, but he used that opportunity to go into different avenues like songwriting, producing. I think he did dabble in clothing,
and probably saved his money and invested it instead of just go out and blow it like on some MC Hammer shit. You know.
Yeah.
And I even think of like OT Genesis, who made like the Coco song.
Oh yeah.
He has other songs that were popular, but like that was like the pinnacle, and like everyone, and it just exploded. Yeah. But like 6 months later, it's like, where is he at? But he's fine. Exactly. He's doing a bunch of other shit.
Exactly.
You know, so I don't even hate on the guy, or I know a lot, because like it's such a negative connotation to be a one-hit wonder. But dude, those dudes are chilling, man. And if they played their cards right, you capitalize on that.
Yep.
You know,
for sure.
Because some people, I'm sure they love music, but that might not be like the only thing they want to do, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, you know? Exactly. It's just like basketball players, like Damian Lillard. Like, you know, he's phenomenal on the basketball court, and you know, now he's doing music. I think he just dropped something with was it 50? I don't know exactly who was on his.
But he got talent on the mic too. Like,
yeah, he's dope. Know? He's dope.
Yeah.
And just being diverse. Now we're done with the living in a box type of way of thinking. You know what I mean? You know, it's 2021. We're done with that mindset. We're just like you were saying when I first got here. Like, you do everything. You know what I'm saying? You got to be your own. You got to be your own everything. You know what I mean? And the same goes for myself. We're so. It's not the fact that we can't depend on people. It's just the fact that we know what we want and how we want it done. And that old saying is, if you want something done, you better do it yourself. Yeah. You know what I mean? If you want something done right, you better do it yourself. You know, because you know how you want it. You know your vision. Nobody's going to know your vision better than you know your vision. So a lot of times people ask me like, yo, when are you going to let me host a show? Or when are you going to let me do my own show? Or when, you know, and I support people 100%. You know what I mean? And whatever it is that they want to do. But I can see if you're going to be successful in doing your own show, especially in a live scenario, or if you're going to just be like how I was at the first beginning, like, okay, here we go, next song. We'll, you know what I mean? And there's always a different dynamic. You know what I mean? So, and then it's just finding your niche, like, come with something passionate that you're passionate about. You know, that's my advice for any content creator, and I've got that advice from different content creators on YouTube. Like, just find your own lane, and like go hard in that lane, and like do that, fucking drive that lane the best that you could drive it. And if somebody comes and enters in that lane, fucking smash the gas on them, and just so that way they can see your elevation, and they could try to, you know what I mean, match with you. You're basically going harder so that way they could go harder. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Sink or swim at that point, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Man, this was a good conversation,
for
bro.
Sure, man.
It was.
For sure.
Carl's gonna be mad because he always gets mad, bro. This shoot should have been longer, bro.
I feel that.
But man, I thank you for coming on and having this conversation with me.
No doubt, man.
I'm gonna put your link in the bio, like for Slap or Crap, your YouTube channel.
Appreciate it.
I'm gonna put your Spotify, all that, so they can go check you out.
No doubt, man. Thank you.
Definitely go check this dude out on what days do you do it again?
I do it on every Wednesday night, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Sometimes I do a pop-up show on Friday, same time, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. You know, we have phone line. We take calls in from all around the globe. You know what I mean? It's real dope. So yeah, I definitely encourage you guys to check it out when you have an opportunity.
Yeah, most definitely. And the his YouTube channel will be in the description, so you guys go over there, subscribe. He's doing it, man, for real. I'm very inspired and blessed to have you on the show, man.
Thank you,
for
bro.
Real.
Appreciate it,
But
man. We need to get you on the show now.
dude, I want to, man. That'd be
do
my
it.
first. It's funny. That'd be my first like thing I've done. Like I always say, I've never been on a podcast before.
Right.
Besides my own, obviously.
Right.
But it would be great to be like on the other end of it, where I could just like chill, and we could just post up. Because I watched the one with Carlos on there, and it was dope. You know, especially so. That'll be a live show, so that'll be like my first time. And then you had the Slow Burn crew on there as well, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I'm gonna get them on here. I've been working on it, but like when I had COVID, it set so much back.
No,
you know?
I feel it.
But those are good dudes too as well.
Yeah, shout out Shortage.
Yeah, Shortage.
Shooter, yeah, those are my people, man. I've known them for a good while, and real good dudes coming out from Atwater, man.
Dude,
see you had Surgeon.
Yeah, Surge. And then their buddy, where's it at? Oh fuck, I gotta find it. I forget where the fuck it's at. I had another guy on here. They're all
Chris Spade.
Yeah, there you go, Spade right there. Yeah, dude, those dudes, all those youngsters, man. I didn't even know they were like all doing that, and they're all like connected.
They're a collective.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. And I was like, man, that's dope. You guys keep doing your thing. Don't let none of the bullshit around here deter your guys' craft, because they're really doing it.
Exactly, man. They're definitely on top of that shit for sure.
Yeah, but this is Dubtown Rob. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you head over and check him out. Subscribe to the channel. And this is the Mulberry Podcast, and we'll see you guys next time.